Hello, boyos!
Hello, boyos.
God.
This is the Loner Gamecast, where we discuss all things video games. My name is Nick, that is Jake. This week, we're going to be talking about the Ubisoft 4 that everybody forgot about last week, the Xbox price, the Xbox Series X and S price drop, and date drop. And we're going to be talking about our predictions of the PS5 event that's coming up next week that we'll talk about next week.
Tomorrow. It happens tomorrow.
No.
Yes, Wednesday.
Thursday. Is it Wednesday?
It's Wednesday.
Wow. It's Wednesday.
So tomorrow.
Shit, you're right. Tomorrow's... Fuck.
Well, don't tell the audience that we record this a day early, but...
You're not supposed to know. Nobody knows. It doesn't matter anyway. Anyway, last week's question. Last week's question was, not saying?
No one knows!
Nobody knows what I'm saying. No one knows what we're saying.
I feel like this would be a good opportunity, though, for us to talk about that G4 teaser. Did you see it?
I didn't see it. I didn't. What is it? You just threw it on this thing, and I haven't.
I literally just saw it. IGN posted it, and it's literally just a little thing, and it shows like them playing Pong, and like it shows like NES controllers, and then it says G4 2021.
Wasn't that like when they announced G4 was coming back? That was the thing.
Was it? I just saw it. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I could have swore like a month ago when they announced that G4 was coming back. That was like the teaser. They're like in a warehouse, right? And they're playing. Yeah, they're playing.
So I'm just
Pong.
like totally out of the loop then. Huh?
I guess so. Yeah. You're a month behind on the G4 news.
Well,
fuck it.
What you been playing?
I've been playing a little bit of Forza Horizon 4. This game, I like it. I like Forza Horizon. It's very arcadey, very old school. It kind of brings back like that Need for Speed feel. It's got an open world, which I dig. I don't like the multiplayer of it. Me and you tried to play it. We played a couple hours of it. It's fine. It just could be a lot better.
Feels like a lot of just waiting around.
Yeah. The menus are kind of weird, and you get ads for the DLC that you can't skip in game, and I think that's weird.
True.
It's fun though. It's a good first single player experience, I would say. But I went into the like customization, and you can customize whatever the fuck you want, which is pretty cool. And then I've been playing a little bit of Tabs, which is totally accurate battle simulator.
I was like, what is Tabs?
Yeah, it's I think you watched. No, it wasn't you that watched me, was it? You watched me?
Yeah, I was watching.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we watched us play it.
Discord.
Yeah, and it's just this game where you have like it's a silly, stupid game where you put armies against armies, and then you just hit play and see what happens, and it's good fun because it's still in early access.
Designed to like break your computer.
Yeah, it's a simulator. It's like one of those old school, well, this is the Romans and this is the Spartans, and we'll play this simulation to see how the fight actually went. It's like one of those kind of things, but goofy.
And you could put like
goofy.
10,000 dudes in there and just like...
You could, but if your computer wouldn't like it.
Your computer will just like... So you could like slow-mo it so your computer doesn't die. It's hilarious.
Yeah, it's pretty good. They keep adding stuff because it's still in early access. It's really fun. It's a good time. I really want to start the campaign. We've just been unlocking characters and fighting. I've been fighting a friend, so we put down like units, and then he'd put down units, and then we'd press play, and then it's just good fun, is what it is. That's pretty much it. What have you been playing?
So remember 3 weeks ago when I said I'm gonna beat Ghost of Tsushima this week,
3
Um,
weeks was so long ago. I don't even remember.
well,
You
I've got good news.
okay?
I still have not beaten Ghost of Tsushima.
Excellent,
this
excellent.
this game, there's so much to do in this stupid game, but I did finally go back to it, and I'm getting close now. I'm not going to make any promises about beating it next week or whatever, but I do feel like I'm getting close. This game is so long. There's so much to do. The whole game is transport missions. I don't know, man. It's totally, it's not a disappointment per se, but it leaves a lot to be desired. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with you. I stopped playing.
It's beautiful.
It's
It's a beautiful game, and the combat's kind of fun.
yeah. I
But
think I think my biggest issue with it is all of the every mission's the same. All of the little like side things that you get lost doing is pretty much the same. It's just go here, sit here for a minute, go here, sit here for a minute, go here, sit here for a minute. Oh, there's guys here, attack them, and it's just it's kind of shallow, honestly. The game feels a little shallow. Um, yeah.
I would
Other
have
than
I would have
it's
liked some sort of like maybe puzzles or something. I don't
yeah,
know.
something that it, it's just there's something missing and I don't know what it is. You
Yeah,
know,
I can't quite put my finger on it, but it's yeah. But that's what I've been playing pretty much. Except I've been playing Forza Horizon as well.
right?
But
Just
car games, stupid car games.
car games are great, dude. Oh, but although we have been playing Gran Turismo Sport
True.
a little bit, and I don't like that game.
I
It,
like it. I
it's
think it's
fine. I think it's just so
it feels
rigid.
slow.
It's very rigid and slow. Yeah,
If it felt faster, I think I'd like it more. But
yeah.
I
Let's
like
let's
it
get
besides that.
let's get into the events today.
Yeah.
I feel like this one's going to be a little short, but
Whoa.
we roll with the punches. We got the Ubisoft Forward happened last week. Uh, I forgot about this one until the show before this, and I actually watched a little bit of the pre-show, but it was such a snooze fest that I just kind of skipped through it. I was just like,
Mhm.
oh man, I am bored, and
Yeah.
they're not showing anything. It's just people faking their excitement, kind of thing. Um, so then the show started, and it was about an hour long, maybe a little less than an hour. Would you say?
It was about 45 minutes, yeah.
Yeah. Which is too long for what they showed.
For what this was, I thought, yeah,
It,
too
it
long.
was it was far too long. I do enjoy the format that they have. They kind of show a trailer and then they show the gameplay and then they go back and talk to like the developers. I enjoy that format, but it just gets dragged out and it's just like, okay, can we move on? Or like they'll have like a 5 minute uh, trailer and then like 15-minute gameplay and then 6 minutes of talking to and it's like, come on, you can shorten all of these really easily. But they kicked it off
I
with
really I just want to say this though. I wish everyone did it like Nintendo, where it's like, here's this game, and then like over top of it, a dude's just like, this game works like this and this and this, and while
yep,
he's saying that, the gameplay is happening, and then
yep,
it's that's it. Next thing, here's this
yep,
game,
yep.
and it's just like, and every one of those things, they show like 52 things in like 30 minutes, and it's perfect.
Yeah, it's beautiful. The Nintendo's last one was fire. I loved the way they
Yeah,
presented that
and they
one.
didn't even really show that much, but like the way it was laid out was just like perfectly paced, and you're just like,
Yeah,
that's it. That's the way
that
you do it.
it was beautiful. It was beautiful. Good on you, Nintendo. They
It's the
they
only
figured
thing
it
they're
out.
good at. It's the only thing they're good
Yeah, showing off games that aren't theirs.
at.
Speaking of Nintendo, what do you think about the? I don't know if we went over this last week. What do you think about the 3D Mario thing that just came out, like today, I think, or yesterday?
What, like the 3D world thing?
Yeah, what do you think about like the 3D World Mario stuff?
I don't
Probably
know.
went over it. Are you gonna pick it up? I'm just
I
curious.
I want to, but also like the fact that it's $60.
Ooh, I did
Yeah,
not know that.
yeah, it's $60. It is 3 games though, so like it's a lot of content, I guess, for $60. But I don't know. They're like 20-year-old games. Like,
Yeah, and they're hardly touched up. Anyway, back
like
to the
how
Ubisoft.
but like how can Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2, which is a remaster remake,
Hmm.
come out for 40, but then ports of 20-year-old games
Yep.
cost 60? Like, what the fuck, Nintendo?
Yeah.
Anyway.
See, that's what they're doing wrong. They're nailing the events. They're nailing these Nintendo Directs, and then the games come out, first party games come out, and they're total like, what are you thinking? What? Why? Why is this a thing that
Yeah.
we have? So,
Dude, you have no idea how badly I want to play Sunshine, but like $60 for Sunshine.
for Sunshine, yeah.
Like,
When I don't even think that game launched at $60 back in the day. You know,
I mean, it probably did, but I don't know. Like,
Man,
that game
that
shouldn't
was
be $60.
that was before I even knew about money. You know,
Yeah, what is money?
I was old enough to play it, but I wasn't old enough to understand how much money a video game was at that time.
Hmm.
Um, anyway, back to the Ubisoft
I didn't
forward.
understand that till last year. So
They kicked off the main event by announcing Immortals: Phoenix Rising. This game was formerly known as Gods and Monsters, and just off of the name, I hate it. Like they showed off Gods and Monsters, I want to say around E3 time. The game looked really intriguing. They showed a little teaser clip or whatever.
Mhm.
They showed gameplay. They did a trailer gameplay and then talked to the devs as they do on these. And I'm not gonna get this game because the name is kind of stupid. The characters don't look good. The enemies look cool. I will say the enemies and the combat look pretty okay. Um, but like the mocap for the main characters or the humanoid characters, it just looks
I don't know.
uh,
I kind of like it. I think it's like kind of cutesy. It reminds me of like Ratchet and Clank or like Fable, like
yeah, it's very
so,
Fable, isn't it?
yeah, where it's like this jokey RPG sort of thing. Uh,
Uh,
I don't know. There's not a whole lot of. This is what I've been talking about, right? Me and Nick talk a lot, and I've been saying to him, I just need a game that's fucking fun, and like, because every game is so serious. It's like let's make everything so goddamn realistic, and it's just getting so boring.
yeah.
And this game looks interesting, but yes, Immortals: Phoenix Rising is the stupidest name, and I'm not picking it up for that reason alone.
But I will say, you are a huge fan of the Zelda game, the big open world Zelda game,
Breath of the
Breath
Wild.
of the Wild. You're a huge fan of that.
Mhm.
And what the gameplay kind of looks like is a little bit of that. You know, it kind of took some
Sort
hints
of.
from that. It seems to be an open world where you have little things to do here and there, and
It
it's
seems like
broken up in sections, and you
seems
kind
like an
of
RPG almost.
yeah. But I don't remember if they said anything about like leveling up your character or anything like that.
Yeah.
I know you get like certain powers from certain gods, but I don't know anything past that. Like if you can level up those powers, I have no idea. Or it kind of seemed like when you would do the beast, the big puzzle in Breath of the Wilds, how it would give you like a special power that you could use. It seems kind of like in that vein, but yeah,
It,
it
it's
looks okay.
it's an Ubisoft game. It's an open world. You go do the check marks.
Yep,
That's what it
yep.
is.
It's very much like Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah. Yeah. True.
Oh, we hit that check mark. Oh, that's not grayed out. Go do that.
Yep.
And Immortals: Phoenix Rising, formerly known as Gods and Monsters, is coming out December 3rd. Really wish you stuck with the Gods and Monsters because that is just a much better name. It's
I
still
wonder if it's like some sort of legal issue. I also wonder if it has to do with that. I don't know if they had the trouble production stuff, like the allegations and stuff
mm-hmm.
at this studio,
It
but
could be
and maybe they just want to like distance themselves from like, yeah, all that
what they
happened at
were.
Gods and Monsters, but this is Immortals
Yeah,
Phoenix Rising.
that's a good point. That's
I
a
don't
good
know.
point. Yeah, it could be. It's called Immortals: Phoenix Rising because I guess the main character is Phoenix. That's the name of the main character.
Well,
Um,
I guess the idea is then like when they make a sequel and subsequent sequels, they could call it Immortals, blah, instead of
Phoenix Risen.
yeah, instead of Gods and Monsters 2. But Gods and Monsters 2 sounds cool.
It sure does.
Yeah, like I'm into that.
They nailed it with the first time around with the name, and I don't know why they're switching it, but
Yeah, it's weird.
bad
I'm
bad
sure it's legal issues.
it could be. And then something kind of exciting showed up on the screen, and I'm like, I see like the Prince of Persia thing, and I'm like, oh shit,
Yeah,
it's
I
just
felt
Sands
that
of
too.
Time getting remade. I'm like, oh, that's it.
The dude, it's so weird this game because it's not just like a port or like an
Right, right,
upres.
right, right.
Like this is a complete remake. Like remo they're mocapping people and like redoing the dialogue and like remaking the game, making the game mechanics better. It's obviously like they're doing this to see if people are still interested in Prince of Persia because they want to make a new one. But
Yeah,
like the weird thing is like, and is this just me that it looks like shit?
it looks pretty bad.
Like it looks gross
Yeah, it looks like a PS3
for
game, an early PS3 game.
a game being like remade from the ground up. Like it looks disgusting.
Yeah, yeah, it does. I don't know what engine they're using, but I get that. And also, this game is like 15 years old. All of the ideas in this game are 15 years old. You know,
Mhm.
it's not going to play very well. I mean, the controls might be fine because they're completely remaking it or whatever, and it might feel fine. But a 15-year-old game does not age well unless you're adding new shit to it.
I mean, maybe I don't know. I
A
played
game
the,
like this, all right, okay, you have Tetris, which never changes. That's gonna feel
but you
fucking
know, like Crash
fantastic.
Bandicoot, like people really love that, and I think
Yeah,
that's what they're hoping for with this is like a sort of Crash Bandicoot, Spyro sort of nostalgia level for Prince of Persia.
Prince of Persia though, like the newest ones, the newest Prince of Persia's, there's Assassin's Creed. You know,
Yeah,
like
Mhm.
Assassin's Creed One came out after Prince of Persia: Sands of Time.
Right.
That game feels old. You know, Assassin's Creed One feels old. They even
Hmm.
redid it, and it still feels old. It's
Yeah,
oh, they didn't do the first one, but they
yeah,
redid like the newer ones, Assassin's Creed Two, Revelations, and Brotherhood, and those still feel dated and old. So I don't see this game feeling good.
yeah. I want it to be good. And like the fact that they're remaking it and like gives
Completely
me
remaking it, yeah.
gives me a little bit of hope. But like, because I don't even think they did that with the Assassin's Creed games. I thought they were just like remasters,
Yeah, they were
right?
remasters,
Like
but
this is a complete remake, like Crash Bandicoot, where they built it from the ground up. Um,
right.
but like, and like, I'd love to see new Prince of Persia, but like, why not just make a new Prince of Persia?
Yep,
Super
that's
weird.
how I feel.
And what I'm thinking is like since Assassin's Creed has gone in such a different direction, right? Like now it's like these weird RPG games where it's like you have to level up and the game goes on forever and ever and ever. Prince of Persia is gonna like take that spot back as like the the free running sort of parkour game, single
Yeah,
player game.
that'd be kind of cool if we got like a instead of Assassin's Creed, we got Prince of Persia.
Yeah, I'm into that. I mean, we'll
That
still get Assassin's Creed, but we'll get those like weird modern Assassin's
hmm
Creed that are nothing like Assassin's Creed.
right, yeah. I would dig that, but
Yeah, I'm okay with that too.
I probably won't be picking this one up because it, like you said, it looks like somebody just
Yo, if it
slapped
drops,
crap
if
on it.
if it drops for like $30, I would totally pick this shit up. But like, I know it's gonna drop for 60, and I'm not into that. So,
Yeah.
or
Uh,
you know, if Ubisoft wants to send me a code,
yeah, happy to play it on
hit me in the
stream or
DMs, Ubi.
yeah, we'll we'll stream that or
We'll
upload a
promote
video or
you.
something. Um, next thing up that they showed was a Rainbow Six new season. They're adding Splinter Cell's Sam Fisher, which is extremely disappointing because nowhere in here um, did they talk about Splinter Cell after this.
Nope.
Didn't get a single thing of Splinter Cell.
They're just teasing us now.
Yeah, yeah.
They're just,
Last time that they had that Siege like mobile app, and Sam Fisher was in that, and now they have the
I
game
need to look this up. Like, how long has it been since the
since.
last Splinter Cell game?
Yeah, so Sam Fisher's in it. He looks old. He looks retired, I guess, and he's in Siege now. So, and he's. I don't
Dude,
know if there's
the last
another.
time the last time we got a fucking Splinter Cell game was 2013. Fucking what?
Was that Conviction? Or no, that was one more after Conviction, wasn't
It
there?
was a Blacklist.
Yeah, yeah, I heard that was bad or boring rather.
So what? It's been like 7 years. Like, come
Yeah,
on. Like, give me Splinter Cell. Like, stop putting him in this shit. They put him in Wildlands, and now they put him in fucking
yeah,
Rainbow Six Siege, which that's
and he's in that
so
mobile app.
out of place.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
I
dude, remember when Siege was grounded, and it was
yeah,
supposed to be like, this is the realistic like battle
hmm
simulator. Like, this is how it is, and now like people run around with like cheeseburger helmets and now you're Sam Fisher with like your weird silence pistol and like
and you shoot a camera through a wall and
yeah.
something. Yeah, I've totally fallen off of the Siege
Yeah,
uh,
because it was fun when it was that
train.
realistic thing, but now it's just like stupid.
It's still trying to be like semi-realistic, and I think
There's a
I'd
man
like
running
it.
around with a pizza head.
Well, yeah, but it's still like that grounded gameplay. And I feel like if they either went like full, wacky, full Fortnite character styles, like this guy's got a superpower and he can go invisible, like I'd be more on board with that. But instead, they're kind of in this weird, like it's still realistic because nanobots and sort of
It's so
superpowered
Ubisoft.
people. It's like I really don't like it. It's kind of like, oh, I got a person that has like a little phone on her wrist and can see gadgets, or I got a person that can charge through full walls. Like, what the fuck? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's or a person who's got 3 drones that look and sound just like her. It's stupid. It's so stupid. Um, I don't know if they released another character this season. I have not been keeping up.
I think it
Have
was
you? Have
I
you?
think it was
It's just
just Sam.
Sam Fisher.
I could be wrong about that though. I haven't been keeping up either.
Um, yeah, I should
We
look that
both
up.
put in like 100 hours into Siege though. Like
Oh,
easy.
easily,
Yeah.
easily. That's one of those games that you played for a long time, and then something would just fuck up, and you'd get pissed off about it, and it's like, okay, I'm not playing this. Like,
Yep. And then you re-download it like a couple months later, play it
yeah,
again.
and then you play it again, and you're like, okay, cool, and then you get into it again, and then you're like, oh fuck.
They also announced on the like for the PS5, like you get a free upgrade,
Oh
and
yeah. I remember that
it's gonna run at like 120 frames and
at
beat up
4K or
res.
something, or
Yeah,
at least
um,
2K,
yeah, 1.4 or whatever, or 1440 or whatever.
1440. Yeah, that's cool. They
I'm
said
into
it was
that.
going to be free, right?
Yeah, it's a free upgrade if you already own the game, so that's
Yeah,
cool. I may play it again just to fuck around with that.
just to see how it is, because I think the problem with Splinter Cell at this point is the netcode. The netcode is so shit, and the hitboxes are so shit that it just doesn't make any sense to play it over online. It would be a much better LAN play um, game. Sorry about that.
So unprofessional.
I know. It's like we got shit to keep up. Next thing on the thing, Ubisoft Forward was Scott Pilgrim versus the World. The game is back. Or colon, the game is back. Um, yeah, I'm not a fan. I have
Um,
a couple of people who liked Scott Pilgrim games. I know a person in mind who that's his favorite game in the world.
yeah.
I'm just not a fan of the 2.5 side scroller beat 'em up sort of games like Double Dragon or
Hmm.
those old arcadey games, especially now. It just seems I feel like I always miss my hits in these games.
I think they're fun. This is kind of a big deal though, because this is a game that came out on the 360.
Yeah, it was that
and,
era.
and then just got lost to time because they took it off the store. You couldn't buy it anymore. If you deleted it, you couldn't even re-download it.
Really, I didn't remember that.
Like completely lost to time. So the fact that it's back is pretty cool. I also didn't realize Ubisoft had the rights to this, so that's cool too, I
That's
guess.
uh,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, I mean it's a fun, like you said, 2D side-scrolling beat 'em up.
Yep.
Uh,
It's got a lot of systems in it that are kind of cool, like, drinking sodas, and the characters are really cool. I'm
yeah,
just not a fan of the
tons
gameplay.
tons and tons of personality. It's based off the comic book as well,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
everyone's seen the movie, and
Yeah, the
yeah.
movie was cool. Next up, they showed off exactly what we know about Watch Dogs Legion. No new information. They just
Well,
keep
there
pushing
is
this game.
this.
Well,
I've got
okay,
this written here.
all right.
Watch
Yes,
Dogs Legion is bringing grumpy surveillance dad Aiden Pierce back.
oh man, my favorite character in
It's like,
all the
oh, you
video
mean the
games.
character that everyone fucking hated is
The
back?
character with no fucking
Ooh.
character. Yay. Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, cool, sure.
Yeah,
I don't
whatever.
whatever, but also they showed off like gameplay where you can hire a beekeeper to be in your legion, and it's like we already know all this stuff. Just the game's coming out in October. Why are we still showing it off? I think they're just trying to up the numbers of trailers that are out there so that people can make up their minds whether they're going to buy it or not. I, for myself, am going to wait for reviews on this game, because how heavy they're pushing it, I'm not sure if it's even going to be good. They could be like, they could it could have like had a huge hiccup, and they're like, oh shit, there's a couple of huge bugs that we haven't been able to iron out yet. Let's just push it, try to sell as many as we can, and fix the bug later. Um, that's the kind of vibe that I'm getting from them. Is like something is just off on this, but they're just trying to push the sales.
Why do you think that?
Just because of all the trailers that they're releasing about exactly the same stuff. Like the last three forwards that they've had, I guess that's what they're calling them. Um, they brought up like, oh, we're gonna run through a mission and show you how to recruit somebody. Then the next one was like, you can recruit somebody, anybody in the world, even grandmas. And then this one is like, you can recruit this kind of person, this kind of person, this kind of person, this kind of person, and that's it. Also, Aiden Pierce is back.
Well, I think they're just trying to hype the game. I mean, like, I don't think it's going to be like this broken, buggy mess. I mean, the fact that they've delayed it twice is kind of pretty telling on that. I don't know. I think like if they had a ton of issues, they wouldn't have an issue just delaying it again. I think
Yeah,
the reason they're pushing it so hard is because Watch Dogs 1 was not very well received, and Watch Dogs 2 was pretty well received, but didn't sell super well. So now they're just trying to blend those worlds together, I think.
yeah.
They're trying to make a well received game and sell a lot of copies, so they're like really pushing it. But yeah, I don't know.
For me, like I was really hyped the first couple of times I've seen gameplay or like trailers on it. I'm like, wow, this is cool and nifty and a new idea. But now that I've seen five trailers all showing me the same stuff, it's kind of old already. So I don't know what
Yeah,
that's gonna say when I'm actually playing the game, you know. So it's
yeah.
gonna be one of those.
I haven't decided if I'll pick it up yet.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
And then our favorite subject in the whole world, our favorite game, Steep, is coming back with a new name and like a whole new thing.
I love
From the
that
makers.
they tried to pretend that this wasn't steep,
I know,
and
I
it's
know.
like this is
From
steep.
from the makers of Steep, that really terrible snowboarding game.
Kind of,
Comes, it was okay for an hour or two, and then
yeah,
you
it's
get
kind of
bored of it. From the makers of Steep, a new extreme sports game where you can ride skateboards and bicycles and jet jet wings, I guess, comes Riders Republic, which is like Steep 2, but there's dirt now.
hmm
That's it. That's the
it's
that's the whole thing. It's Steep 2,
it's
Electric
it's
Boogaloo.
it's steep again, but you can use more things. So like instead of just snowboards and skis, now it's snowboards, skis, and bikes and skateboards and
Yeah.
presumably longboards and
The way they showed it off was like 600 people coming over this mountain on bikes and other things, other ways of getting down hills really quickly. And I'm like, oh shit, are they doing like a an off-road battle royale thing, like the first one to the bottom of the hill wins kind of thing? And I'm like, that would be kind of interesting, you know? You just have 100 people and they're all racing each other to the bottom of the hill, and they have to like hit certain checkpoints along the way, and people are like fucking up and flying off. It'd be kind of like a fast-paced Fall Guys almost. And then they're like, no, it's just people. That's just how everybody is. They're just kind of all over the place, and you can interact with them and stuff like that on this hill. And it's like, so it's steep, but also bikes. It doesn't look like anything new, honestly.
the weirdest thing for me about this game, and it makes sense that they're making this game. They already had like a lot of the assets from Steep, and they're like, let's just fucking expand upon that and make it better, which is great because Steep was good, but it left like there was so much like missing there. Like there
Yeah.
wasn't like it just wasn't enough. So like
Hmm.
it looks like they're taking Steep and like expanding upon it, which is cool. The weird thing was that like they're like, and here's one more thing, a game no one's heard of.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Like
yeah.
what? It was so
Yeah, it
strange.
was like I thought they were gonna announce like Splinter Cell or
I thought it
something
was going
like
to be
that.
Splinter Cell 2,
It's
and
like
it
it's
was
like, oh yeah,
Riders Republic.
Aiden Pierce is back in Watch Dogs Legion, and that's all the time we have. But before we go, one more thing you guys have all been waiting for: Riders Republic.
And it's like, what is this? It's from the
What?
makers of Steep, and most people are like, what's Steep? I've never even heard of that because that game didn't do very well.
Yeah.
But
So it was just a very odd. That's the end of it. That was the
that
whole
was the yeah, that
conference, and it lasted 45 minutes. Um, Not very good.
yeah.
Not excited
I
for.
thought it was okay. Like
It
it's
was
nothing to
fine.
be mad at, you know.
No, no, yeah,
Like they showed off Phoenix Rising, which is fine. Prince of Persia, that's like a cool announcement. Scott Pilgrim's a cool announcement too. And then
yeah.
just showing off more Watch
I,
Dogs. Like I don't know
I'm,
what else they could have shown off, and like it's fine. It's just
progress on uh the
beyond
monkey
beyond
beyond
good and
good and evil.
evil.
Yeah, progress
Yeah.
on that, or they've another Splinter Cell, or something like, hey, you guys, we are trying to work on this sort of thing. Like, I feel like they announced Beyond Good and Evil so early. Why not do that for something that's still being worked on, I don't know. There wasn't a whole lot to go off of. The Scott Pilgrim thing was kind of like, a whoa, this is different. But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, that's all the events that happened last week. Let's move on to
The
our news
news.
story. News. Um,
The
Not the
more
more
you
you know.
know.
No,
Come on, it's the news. The more you know.
the more you news. Um, that
Oh,
would be a good one. Just a wipe of now more news.
now you're gonna make me do more editing. God damn it.
No, there's not going to be any editing. Fuck you. You're not going to edit this.
No, like I'm gonna have to edit that into the fucking show. The
Well, yeah. As soon as we figure something out for that, you'll have to edit, or I'll edit it or something.
I'll do it.
All right. So the biggest news story, which couldn't come soon enough, um, Xbox Series S and Xbox Series X release dates and prices announced.
Finally.
Just after this, just after they announced this, PlayStation's like, hey, we got an event coming next week. It's like, okay.
Dude,
PlayStation.
the weirdest thing about this though is that like it was announced, but like it was leaked. Like they didn't even really intentionally announce it.
I didn't remember it. I know you said it was leaked, but I could not find anything that said it was leaked. I thought it was just
it was all over the internet
that they put out, and they're just like, here's the tweet, and here's the price, and here's the date. There it is.
Yeah, because it was leaked, and they're like, okay, how about we make the tweet was literally, how about we make this official, and then they put the prices, and showed off the specs and stuff, and it's so weird because, like, are they still gonna do an event now or nah? Like, is this it? Like, that's it?
I kind of hope they do because I want to see the infrastructure of the PlayStation series. You know, about that. What did you call them? The XS and XX?
The XS and the XX.
Yeah. I want to see what that looks like and how like shit's gonna feel and run in game. Like I want to see the main menu. You know, I want to see what their store looks like. I want to see how the friends are all gonna be put up. Yeah. So they announced the date. It's November 10th. I don't know. I think that's a Friday. I want to say that's a Friday.
Sure.
That is. Let me go to my calendar. It's actually a Tuesday.
It's a Tuesday, yeah.
It's a Tuesday. It's releasing the second Tuesday of November, which is a strange date.
That's a video game day.
It is, but you'd think a console would release on a Friday. That way it could sell on Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
But this way it sells
Tuesday.
On that Tuesday and that Friday and that Saturday Sunday. And that Sunday.
Yeah.
But let's be honest, like everyone's just going to get their pre-orders and like that's it. Like it's not like there's going to be long lines. There can't be long lines anyway. We're in a pandemic. So like yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
Right.
Weird time to be alive.
It's coming out on that Tuesday.
What are the prices, Nick?
The prices for the small one, discless one, the Series S is $300 or $299 and probably 99 cents.
That is wild.
That is super cheap. And I'll go into this. I don't know if I can zoom into this.
Well, the Series X is $499.
Right, the big one, the main one that everybody's. Well, I was going to run down the Series S and then.
Well, let's say the prices first, goddammit.
Right, yeah, so the Series...
Let's not leave the people waiting.
I like the suspense. All right, so that Series S, the small one, $300. The regular one, Xbox Series X, $499, $500. And the specs, we'll just run through this. The CPU, it's running 8-core AMD Zen 2. They're pretty much the same. 3.6 gigahertz.
Well, in the Series X it's a 3.8 gigahertz, and the Series S is a 3.6 gigahertz. I'm not going to pretend like I know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Then the GPU, we have AMD RDNA 2 GPU. Must be a special GPU that they have. The Series X is running at 52 CUs at 1.825 gigahertz, and the Series S is at 20 CUs at 1.65 gigahertz. Somebody knows what that means. I don't know what that means. The GPU power for the X, 12.15 teraflops. The S, 4 teraflops. That means
people love talking about teraflops. People love
nothing. It means nothing.
Teraflops these days is like the new bits in early consoles. Like this is 16 bits.
This is
32 bits.
Teraflops.
Like the bits were so important. It was the Nintendo 64 because of its 64 bits.
Yeah, yeah. So,
but the X has so many more flops than the S.
What does that mean?
So
I'm
many
not
more
sure.
flops.
There's so many flops. You might as well spend the 200 for the 3 times the amount of flops. Um, the RAM, you got 16 gigs versus 10 gigs of RAM. Storage, you're going to have 1 terabyte of solid state in the X, and you're going to have half a terabyte in the S, also solid state. There is going to be an expandable storage up to 1 terabyte. Backwards compatibility. It says thousands of Xbox One and backwards compatible Xbox 360 and original Xbox games available at launch. Xbox One gaming accessories are backwards compatible as well. That's kind of cool. Didn't know that. Kind of cool. So you can use your headset or your mic or whatever the fuck. The X is going to have a 4K ultra high definition Blu-ray player. The S is just digital. There's no disk drive. HDMI. They both use HDMI 2, and the prices again are 500 versus 300. I saw a teardown on the new consoles. It wasn't like the guy that I watch. They didn't send him like an entire Series S and Series X console.
They
It was
show
just
the show model.
yeah, it was just a shell, like a case.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the weird things that I noticed is they are using the old USBs. They're not using USB Type C. And that's really odd to me. Like the slots were square, they weren't that like oblong, oval.
Oh
sort of shape.
yeah, I mean, I'm sure that Sony is doing the same.
You think?
Yeah, from actually they've already said this about Sony, right? It has one of the normal USBs and a USB-C port on the front.
Okay.
So both. But yeah,
Maybe
I don't know. Yeah, I
maybe
don't know.
that's for like USBs that you can plug into. That's not like
yeah, like your phone or whatever. If you want to charge your phone or
yeah. I
buy a
just
new
thought
cable for your controller, and it has a regular USB.
yeah. I just found that weird that there's no USB-C on either of the new Xboxes. You know, not a one. It's just kind of odd to me.
I don't know. Computers don't typically have that either. So
Now they do. Now they're starting to get them. Mine does. Mine's
sometimes,
a few years old too.
Sometimes, but like I don't know, it's unnecessary because you can just have a USB to USB-C and it works just fine.
Yeah,
You know? It's
yeah.
totally unnecessary.
I just thought it was weird. That was just a little thing. I'm
Well,
not
you're
saying
wrong,
it's good
bitch. No,
I'm not saying if it's good or bad. I'm just saying.
No, I get it.
I'm just saying.
What I heard
strange.
what I heard about the Series S is the Series S is about as powerful as the Xbox One X.
Oh.
So, like that's the comparison. Is like the Series S is basically the One X, and then the Series X is like next gen. So,
Weird.
The fact that it's like $300 is pretty nutty.
Yeah. You're getting a Series
It's
or
super
Xbox
cheap.
One X for $300.
That's like what the Switch launched at. Like that's super cheap. But I honestly don't know why you wouldn't just drop the extra 200.
Well, maybe it's for your kid, and you're like, my kid doesn't need all that.
But
bullshit.
the really crazy thing is that they're doing that rollout plan.
I was going to bring up that. Yeah, it's going to bring that up. It's going to bring up that.
That up.
You can talk about it. You probably know a little bit more about it.
Well,
than
I think I forget exactly what it's called, but basically it's like a phone model where it's you pay $24 a month for a year or 2 years or something like that, and then it's paid off. And then if you're getting a Series X, you pay $35 a month. And basically it's just and it includes Game Pass and games with gold in that $35 a month,
which is nutty. It's so crazy the way that they have it.
You're just paying for a subscrition, and you're
for
getting
a physical console.
Yeah,
it's so bizarre. I don't buy my phones that way because most people now they'll like put down I don't know $200 for their phone and then they'll pay it off with their bill.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do that. I just pay for the phone and then.
Yeah, but that's sort of what this model is.
Yeah, it's a very phone subscription model. Mm-hmm. Like are they just the way I see it is like, how are they going to implement that? Are they just going to give the console away and be like, okay, you guys have to pay us, otherwise we shut
Uh,
your console off, or we brick it, or
it's a good
how?
point.
I don't know how, because
Um,
I used to work with a guy who would just buy something for real cheap and then not pay it off, and he got kicked out of a whole lot of places. Like, I don't know, Aaron's wouldn't take him in because he would just rent. He would just you know borrow a game console, and then never pay it off. So
I honestly don't think they care. I think like because like the consoles are not where they're making the money. It's Game Pass. So like basically this gets you in the door. Like if you're buying it like this way, this gets you in the door, and then once it's paid off, you're going to continue paying for that Game Pass because you're like,
oh yeah.
oh, it's like Netflix. Like how many people
Oh,
have
it's cheaper
Netflix?
now. Yeah, it's
It's
cheap. Game
it's
Pass is cheaper now.
like
Yeah,
$11 versus the 35 I was paying, and
yeah, that's
like
a
how
good
many people have Netflix just because they had Netflix for so long and used it, and now just like don't cancel it, you
right.
know?
Yeah,
Um, that I feel like that's what they're trying to do with the Series S, Series X.
I
They're
just
just
find it.
trying to get people into Game Pass, and if you change your card or whatever and fuck them over, they're like, well, that's a loss, but we still have millions of other people that are going to pay that off.
I just that just seems so risky to me. Like, here's a free console. It's
It's
just
the
so
same as phones,
bizarre. I
though.
don't
Like,
know.
what's the difference with this and the way they do it with phones, or like if you buy a guitar from Guitar Center? Like, I'm sure they're
Yeah,
gonna do. They might even do credit checks. Who knows?
yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
It's bizarre. We'll keep you posted
It's
on
really
that
cool.
shit.
What it makes me wonder is if they're gonna release subsequent consoles quicker.
Mm-hmm.
Like the One X came out 3-4 years after the One came out. I wonder if they're going to release the Series X2 like next year
Well,
or
see,
maybe just the year after.
I think that's why they're calling it a series, like the Xbox Series SX. You know, there's going to be, I bet you there's going to be an Xbox Series XC, or X2 or whatever later
Well,
down.
I do think this is the perfect time for them to get into the number system where they can just be like, this is the Xbox Series X2,
Hmm.
X, and then they can just call it the X2, the
Yeah,
X3, the X4,
right.
and you know.
Yeah,
So then, like,
Xbox X.
what console do you have? I have the X2. I have the
Yeah,
X5. Like it, just like
yeah,
phones.
yeah, for sure. It's really interesting. It's a really interesting area that we're in right now, because I really wonder what PlayStation's going to do. Because PlayStation seems to always have an answer to whatever Microsoft is doing, at least in the last few years. Um, they're going to have to pull something out of their ass on this one.
Hmm.
Otherwise, they're just not going to have an answer. They're going to be like, okay, we're going to take the original idea and we're just going to pretend like Xbox won that, but we're not going to
Well,
acknowledge that they did.
and Xbox is like, hey, just to add insult to injury, because like, dude, Xbox is fucking killing it right now. It's insane. Because they're like, hey, you know how Game Pass is fucking awesome, and everyone agrees. We just made it even more fucking awesome. This is like the next story on the list. I figure we just throw it in here.
Yeah, just
But
throw it in
like,
there.
um, apparently Xbox Game Pass is going to include EA Play now. So like
Yeah.
EA Play is just going to be part of Game Pass. So they're just adding all of the library of those EA games.
What sucks about this, though, is the next little bullet that you have here. Um, I don't have it Game Pass on my Xbox. I only have it on the PC because it's like $5 or whatever. But they said Xbox also said on their Twitter that they are retiring the $5 Game Pass beta price for PC. Did not realize it was in beta. Um, and they
Yeah.
say, quote, "We're retiring the introductory price on the 17th. But if you're already a member, you'll pay the same rate through the next billing cycle. Look out for a notification on the 17th for more details." They're raising it also up to the same amount that Game Pass is.
Which is like $11. It's
Yeah,
like not even that
it's
bad.
not bad. It's not bad at all. But it's
But this is
such a good service too. They're
but
adding
this is
so much.
it's fucking genius the way they've been doing this, because this is another thing where they just got people in the door on PC because they knew PC players were going to be standoffish because they're like, console garbage on my PC. No thanks, bud. Like, we all know those PC guys, and the way they worked around it was like, well, it's $5. You might as well check it out.
Yeah,
And now
you don't have to return a game. You just download it, and then if you don't like it, you don't do it.
And
it's
now
like, oh,
literally
well, I can try that game.
Every like PC player I play with now, they're like, do you have it on Steam or Game Pass?
Yeah,
Like, that is like the conversation now. Do you have it on Steam or Game Pass? I have it on Game Pass. This is just like the new normal now. Is like,
it's
people use Game Pass. Like,
Game Pass is so brilliant. It's so
good. It's so good.
It's like,
it's worth $11 a month. Honestly, it's worth $15 a month. Easy.
The only problem that I have with it is it's kind of steep. Like, if you think about it, as in like Xbox Gold, when that first came out, it was like $50 a year. It was like $3 a month or something. Right. But it just seems a little high for, if I go back in time and I think about it, it's like, well, where were we in the Xbox 360 era? It just seems, old me would say, I'm not paying $11 for gold or whatever. It just wouldn't make sense at the time. But now, with like all of the streaming services that are out, it makes complete sense. And
and it's also one of those things where it's like an unlimited amount of games, and like, so now instead of spending the $60 you were going to spend on Halo or whatever, you can basically be like, well, I'm just going to spend that $60 on 6 months of Game Pass.
Yeah.
And if you look at it like that, like, it's really not that bad.
I kind of wish they had that kind of subscription service where you could be like, I want 3 months of this, or I want a year.
They do.
This. Really?
They do. Yeah.
I've only
you can get Game Pass for 3 months for like $40 or something, $35 or something like that.
Huh. Well, that's cool. I'll have to do that, because
they have a bunch of different models. Yeah, it's totally awesome. I think they have a yearly subscription too, if you want to do it that way. It's killer, dude. It's fucking killer. It's great.
Yeah, it's so.
If you have if you play PC, dude, like, you got to get this. Like, Game Pass is the shit.
It's so good.
It's the move.
Even if you're like thinking, maybe I'm not really into that whole kind of stuff. Seriously, just try it out. It's $1 for your first month. You spend $1.
Yeah, it'll change your mind.
You try it, and you're like, holy shit! All of these games are on Xbox Games Pass.
And like, if you're buying a game in November, like, you're buying Cyberpunk, right? Cancel it. Just cancel it, and then re-up it when you want to play some of those Game Pass games.
Yeah,
that's what I've been doing.
When you don't have anything to play, you're like, oh, what am I going to play? Download Game Pass, and then just like
$11 to Game Pass.
Yeah, it's so good. It's so good. Anyway, so I'm really curious to see what PlayStation does with it. What do you think? What are your predictions? We're moving on to our predictions, a new segment, predictions. What do you think? What do you think is going to happen on this Wednesday event?
Yeah, so I think they're going to show off everything. I think they're going to show off the home screen.
How do you think they're going to do it, though? Do you think it's going to be like a rendering where they're just going to be like, here's the game screen? Or do you think it's like, come along with me into my house and we'll play this video game over here?
It's a good question. I have no idea, because I think part of the reason they were holding off, I mean, obviously they were holding off to see what Xbox was going to do.
It's stupid obvious how that is. It's just like, no, we're going to wait, and then we're going to announce it a week after. It's so fucking petty.
They've obviously like had like something put together for a while now, but like, because they were just like, we're ready next week. But I also think another reason they were holding off is because I think they wanted to do like a live event where they could be like, here's us like actually fucking around with it and like going through it. But I think they're going to show everything, though. I don't know how they're going to do it. But they'll show the home screen. They'll show like what the streaming features are. really they need to. They'll show the price. Like they need to. They need to do all of that.
I think they'll accentuate the controller and the haptic feedback and the 3D audio coming from the little tiny the little tiny speaker in your thing. I think they're gonna be like, whoa, I'm blown away, and it'd be really cool if they did it in that kind of '90s style, like early 2000 style, like commercial, like sit down with your buds, and everybody like flops on a couch and is just like, whoa, and shit's like flying out.
I don't think that's gonna happen, bro. I don't think that's gonna happen.
That'd be so cool, though.
Do you think they're gonna show off any games though?
Yeah, I think they're gonna show off a couple. I don't believe that they'll show off Humanity. I think they'll show off Humanity.
I don't know what that is.
That's that game that they showed off when they like announced the PlayStation 5 was coming, where it's just a whole bunch of people like climbing up shit and like falling off of things. If you look it up,
was that not a tech demo?
No, I think it was a real game. It looked like a tech demo though, but it had a name and it was like coming to PlayStation 5.
I don't remember that at all.
I think they'll show that off.
Yeah. What else? You think anything else? Like anything of import?
Cyberpunk's pretty locked to Xbox, so I don't think there'll be a Cyberpunk thing. They might show off factions for Last of Us Part 2.
That was my guess.
That was your guess?
That's my guess.
That'd be pretty cool. They're definitely going to show up to do the prices. What do you think the price points are going to be at?
Oh yeah, good question. I'm
saying 400 to 450 for the digital, and then 500 to 550 for the disc version.
Yeah, what's interesting and like what's different about these two console SKUs versus Xbox 2 console SKUs is I'm pretty sure, and they didn't really say, but I'm pretty sure that the two PlayStation SKUs are the same thing, just one has a disc drive and the other doesn't. Where obviously the two SKUs with Xbox is like they're totally different consoles. So I don't know, man.
You don't know. Like, you don't even have a prediction. Like, okay,
I think my prediction is I think the disced one, I think they're both going to be 500.
You think so?
And I think the one without a disc drive is just going to have a bigger hard drive.
That'd be the way to do it, but that would make it so hard to choose. It'd make it so hard to choose because it'd be like, I'm getting to the point where I don't really want to switch my discs around.
Because how much money do they actually save by not putting a disc drive in there?
I can't imagine that's a whole lot. $20 maybe.
$20? Like
if
not enough to like justify lowering the price by $100.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I keep thinking to myself is like, there's no way they can just like justify just because it doesn't have a disc drive that this thing is $100 cheaper. Yeah. That's what's fucking me up. Because it's like, then I kind of want to buy one without a disc drive. And maybe that's their ploy. Maybe that's their move, because then people will buy on the PlayStation Store more, which they get a percentage of that.
That's very true. Yeah, so, they might want to push that, give you a bigger hard drive, release it at the same price.
So like I'm kind of torn. Like the obvious answer seems like the disc one is 500 and the discless is 400. But I keep thinking in my head like that doesn't make sense.
No,
but
no,
maybe
it really doesn't.
Maybe
it really doesn't. It's so.
I mean, they are 4K UHD hard or
disc drives.
Disc drives. So maybe I don't know how much those go for. Probably a lot.
But nobody buys Blu-ray discs anymore. Nobody buys like everything's on Netflix or whatever. Oh, what is? Ooh.
4K Ultra.
Nice. If I had my collection where I would want it, I'd be like, oh, look at this. Yeah, I have that same one. I'd be like, look at my whole collection of steelbooks. Shout out to Austin for that. Here's another shout out to you, Austin.
I like collecting like 4K Blu-rays myself.
I like collecting steelbooks. I don't care about the plastic cases. Like,
I love my PS4 collection. Like, I love that. I love just looking over there and being like,
I do too, but with the PS3 collection, moving from PS3 to PS4, I have only the steelbooks left. You know,
Mhm.
it's like I have a couple of games that I really love, and then games that I'm like, this was a good game, but I have the steelbook for it. I can't quite get rid of this, you know? And
Yeah,
that's the weird thing about it is like if a game comes out like Cyberpunk, I'm getting the collector's edition. It comes with a steelbook. It's like I kind of want the disc version because it has that steelbook, it has a statue, it has all the physical stuff to it. Whereas like a digital version is just going to be like, there's no steelbook. You get the statue, you get an art book, you get a pin set or whatever, and it's like that's
yeah.
cool too. But I want that steelbook. I want to like pop
I
that
think
bitch
like
open and look at the art.
most people just like aren't us, and like we like collecting things, and like I think when it comes to video games, most people don't really care that much. But like
Yeah,
both me and you have like shelves full of fucking PS4 games, and
yeah, yeah,
like most people just aren't like that, and they're just trying to get rid of it, I guess. Because I mean, Steam's been out of that game forever, you
yeah.
know. So I
That's
think
very true.
it is the move to get rid of the disc drive. But I'm probably gonna get the disc one because I don't have a 4K Blu-ray player. So now I will have a 4K Blu-ray player, which is nice.
That's very true. But you don't even have a 4K TV, do you?
I will soon.
Oh, okay. All right. You gotta keep upgrading to the next thing. Um,
Dude, well, let's be honest here. Let's be honest. 1440 is enough.
well,
4K is
see,
overhyped. 1440 is the move. That's
see
the move.
the way I look at it, the computer I'm using right now is 15 inches, so it's got a 15-inch screen. You don't
Mhm.
need 4K on a 15-inch screen. It's a 1080 screen. It's a full HD screen. Now, once you get to 27 inches, I think that is the point where it's like, do you do you really think it's necessary to go to 4K, or is 2K enough? Like from 24 to 27, I think is like that's your 2K, your 1440p spot, you know? And then anything bigger than that, you're going to need 4K in order to see all the details and
I mean, the
stuff.
thing with computer screens and like monitors is like you sit a lot closer to those things than your
Yeah,
TV.
yeah, for sure.
So
But I just think it's a size thing. Like 8K, you're not going to need 8K unless you have an 80-inch TV or an 80-inch monitor. You know, it's just not. You're not going to. It's
4K is overhyped. I like 1440 though. You see a difference with 1440. It's hard to see a difference with 4K.
yeah, I agree. Unless you have OLED, then it's fucking night and
But
day.
that's just OLED. Like an OLED,
Hmm.
1080 is going to look better.
Yeah, yeah, because you get the darker darks and the brighter brights.
It's the
But
lighting, yeah.
um, yeah. So you think they're going to show off any games back to the
Yeah,
PlayStation?
yeah. I think Factions is a big one.
Yeah.
I think that will be a launch title. And I
I just
think
had an idea. I just had an
yeah,
idea. I'll
and
let you. I'll let you finish.
I think it's going to be $30. Um,
Really, Factions is going to be its own DLC that you have to buy.
yep.
Ooh,
I think it's
that's a
going to be
spicy take.
I think it's going to be $30. I think it's going to be Factions, and here's the weird thing that I've been talking about is like, what if Factions, and maybe it's just free, but it's a battle royale, and
Um,
it's Last of Us battle royale. So you drop in, and it's the Last of Us gameplay, but it's fucking a battle royale. Like battle royales are all about camping and they're all about looting stuff. Last of Us is all about camping and all about looting stuff. Like I can't think of a better game that lends itself to being a battle royale than The Last of Us Online. Honestly.
yeah, you make great points on that, but you know how I am with battle royales. I fucking hate them.
Yeah.
I do have to say though, I forgot to mention this early in the show. Uh, there's a battle royale that came out called Spellbreak, and I've been playing that a
A
lot.
bot.
I've been playing that a bot. Real fast paced. It's max. The length of the game is maximum 15 minutes, and it's super fast paced. You're always in a battle. It seems like, and it's really good. So if they do it right, I feel like I can get into it, kind of like how I got into Spellbreak. But because like Fortnite's not my thing, Apex isn't my thing, PUBG's not my thing. I just feel like I'm waiting too long. But I feel like if you have like a map big enough where you can explore these rundown post-apocalyptic buildings and scavenge and collect shit, and then you run into people that you didn't see were camping right behind like a counter or something, and you're like, oh shit, and then you get all scared and have to. Yeah, I think now that I'm saying it out loud and I
And
think
you
of
could
the
like,
possibilities, it's like, man, that would be pretty cool.
and you could
I
like
don't
set
know.
up bombs and traps and stuff, and like, yeah,
Yeah, I
fucking
don't
cool.
know how the ring would be, because I really don't like the ring gameplay. Um, Maybe if they had like objectives on the map instead of like a ring closing, it was just like you got to get to this
Maybe
objective within this amount of time, otherwise something happens and you're out, you know.
it's a circle of clickers. And they're
Oh
so
God, please, no, 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 no.
good.
Oh, that would be so bad. I don't want that. Don't, no, please, 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 no. That would be horrible. Um,
I don't
that's
know.
the more I think about it, the more I'm like, yeah, that would be a
That's
good
what I'm
battle
saying. I
royale
don't think
game.
that's gonna happen. I think it's gonna be a more traditional factions, but like more fleshed out.
Hmm.
And I think it's gonna be $30.
That'd be interesting.
That's my guess. I also think we're gonna get a release date for Ratchet and Clank.
Oh well, yeah, yeah, because that's going to be a release game. So whenever Ratchet and Clank, whenever the PlayStation
No,
comes out,
no, no,
Ratchet and
no.
Clank's. No, you don't think so?
They've already said it's a launch window game, not a launch game.
Hmm.
They
Maybe.
they said it's coming out in 2021. So
I see. Did they?
yeah.
Oh,
So
oh,
I think they'll drop a release date. I think it'll be March, maybe February.
oh! I don't like that. Well, we'll definitely get a release date for
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. We'll
Yeah.
definitely get a release date for some of those other games that they showed. But the idea that I
I
had,
think I
like,
think Spider-Man and Factions are going to be like their big launch titles, and I think those are perfectly good.
I
And
think
then
those are good.
third-party games,
And they're backwards compatible bullshit. We
Yeah.
will see how their backwards compatible works
Yes.
because we need to.
I'm honestly
Um,
excited. I'm excited as fuck for this event.
yeah, I'm hoping it's not like, oh, that's it kind of thing. I hope they show us something like, wow, this could work.
What if
This could be really
the
good.
event is 5 minutes and they're like, welcome and thank you for joining us. The console is $500. Thank you. We will talk to you later.
It's releasing on the 16th. Okay, bye. Like, yeah.
Comes out tonight at midnight.
I'm not gonna. Yeah.
Dude,
Ooh.
if they could tell us when pre-orders start too, that'd be nice too.
And you can buy the controller right now.
Yeah.
That'd be
Ooh,
fucking great.
ooh, yes.
Ooh.
Yes, I need a new controller desperately.
I don't think this is gonna happen, but God of War DLC or God of War sequel teaser.
Mm. Mm, 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 mm,
Mm.
mm.
Teaser. Nothing on it. It's just like, Kratos is like really old and Atreus is like standing behind him like,
I could see
Father, are
that
we going
more.
hunting? And then he's like, no, I'm too old. And he's like, I'll go hunting. And then that's it. That's the whole thing.
I could
And
see
it's
that
just
more
him
at
pulling his bow.
the Game Awards.
Yeah, yeah, because this event
It's,
doesn't really seem like a
no,
time to announce video games.
I think they're gonna really focus on the PlayStation, and I think they'll announce one big game. I think it's Factions.
Yeah, there's got to be one more thing, doesn't there? Oh, there doesn't have to be because PlayStation doesn't really do that
Not
a whole lot.
anymore. Yeah. Well, they
Um,
do sometimes. They did that with Last of Us Part 2 for sure. But
yeah, yeah, that's our predictions. You got me how hyped for this fucking
I
battle
know we're gonna be
royale,
so
and it's just
disappointed.
like, well, that's fine. I'm not gonna be disappointed because Factions is
Well,
great
Factions
anyway.
is going to be dope either way. Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't think they'll do. I don't think they'll do a battle royale just because of the stigma that comes with it, and that game is already kind of hated by a bunch of people. And I think they knew going in that people were going to fucking hate that game. So
for sure. Let's wrap this show up. Next week, what we're looking forward to, what everybody's looking forward to next week. First thing is the PlayStation 5 showcase. That's happening on Wednesday, September 16th.
So what do you think is going to happen at that?
I think it's going to be, I think they're going to show off the last of it. No, it's happening Wednesday this week at 1 p.m. Pacific time. And then the day after that, Night City Wire episode 3.
2 days after that.
No, it's Thursday.
What the
What?
fuck? Why does it
What
say
the fuck?
18th?
Hold on.
Look this up. Because it says Thursday, September 18th.
You're right, and that's... Uh-oh.
Yeah, look into that. So I think...
fucked that up.
I really think this Night City Wire is just going to be like, hey, our game's coming out this day. Have they announced a date?
For the game? Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Did they?
Yeah, they did.
I think they're just going to be like, hey, it's coming to PlayStation on this day because now we have the date.
Well, they've had the date.
Yeah, but now they have the date for the PS5 version. Yeah.
It's Friday. Okay. So Friday, September 18th.
I don't
6 p.m.
I don't even want to watch these things because it's like, I don't need anything else.
You know, we're gonna include this in the next show, and I'll watch it because I'm genuinely interested in seeing their progression because it's kind of like a dev diary. But we won't go over it in detail because I know a couple of people that watch our show just skip that part. Whenever the Night City Wire episode comes up, they're like, I don't want to know anything about this game. I don't want to know this. I'll just fly through what they talked about. Like this week they talked about, because last time it was the guns that they talked about. I'll just be like, they talked about guns, they talked about things, they talked about this. It all looks great. I don't think I'm going to go into detail and share in detail what they showed because I know a lot of people are just kind of holding back. But yeah, that's what to look forward to next week, unless something crazy happens. Those are the two events that we have.
Yeah, like I don't care about spoilers, right? Like I'm the type of the dude that doesn't give a shit about spoilers. My whole thing is just like it doesn't seem necessary.
Right. Yeah, it doesn't because I'm buying the game. I have it pre-ordered.
Yeah, and I think most people are like, I'm buying it or I'm not buying it. Like
Right.
You're not going to convince someone at this point.
Yeah, and anything that they have right now, the Night City Wire stuff, is just for the fans who are like, give me more. I need more.
These are the dudes that are going to play the game and be like, this game sucks. What a letdown.
Yeah, yeah. They will be because when The Witcher 3 came out, it was buggy and it was it didn't have all of the
well, it's like the No Man's Sky effect.
Quality of life kind of things,
Like people expected so much of No Man's Sky, and when it came out, everyone was like, what the fuck is this? Yeah. And they're like, we're a team of 8. Like, what did you want from us?
What did you expect? We understand we kind of lied to you, but it was like over 5 years.
We've been telling you all along we're a team of 8 and we're an indie developer.
And our studio got flooded. Like we got fucked up halfway through.
I feel like I was there from the beginning being like, this game is just gonna be okay. Anyway, that's a totally different thing.
it looked really good. But yeah, it's gonna have some jank. It's gonna be kind of
perfect. It's a video game.
It's not gonna be perfect. Yeah, there's gonna be
the most perfect video games are not perfect. So
yeah. It's so ambitious that it's not going to be perfect. There's no way in hell it's going to be like a 10 out of 10 right out the gate. Maybe a year or two down the road. So we got that. And why don't you shoot us with that question for this week?
What's going to happen at the PS5 event?
Well, that's a terrible question.
It's my question.
That's happening tomorrow.
Yeah.
People have to watch it tomorrow.
They have to watch
People
it right
have to
now.
watch it before. Yeah, they have to watch it the day this comes out.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a terrible question.
I mean, dude, if you start watching this and you've already seen the PlayStation event, this whole fucking episode is obsolete anyway, so...
That's a good point. Well... No, because you know about Xbox.
What the fuck happened at the PlayStation 5 event? What did you like the most if you watched after, huh? What did you like the most? What did you see? What do you think is going to happen?
What happened? What happened?
Really, what I wrote in here, though, is I said PS5. What? So that's the question.
That's the question. Officially, PS5. What is the question?
Yeah.
That's the end of the show. We're going to end it on that bullshit. These questions are
Bye.
getting ridiculous. No. We still got to plug. We still got to plug our shit.
Yeah, plug me, baby.
All right, I'm plugging you. Here we go. Plugging you up. Bend over. Don't forget to watch the other Lonercast shows featuring mostly Jake. We got the Jake and Corey podcast. There are a few new things up there for the car reviews.
Car reviews, another
What do you
show
got?
in the works, other things in the works.
Oh yeah, you got a special podcast. Is it a podcast?
It's
With or
we'll
is it
see.
just okay?
Fucking around with it. We're gonna see what happens.
There's a couple of projects in the works. Check out those shows. Like us, subscribe to us, dislike us, unsubscribe, whatever the fuck you want to do.
Don't unsubscribe, please.
we follow us on Twitter at emergencypizza_ and at fatal_microwave. Follow us on Twitch. Jake's been streaming a lot at twitch.tv.
My data renews tomorrow. It's time to get back in.
You're
and
gonna
also up my data package because this is bullshit.
Yeah, for sure. All right. And that's our show. Okay, thanks. Bye.
Bye. We did. Yes.
Dude, soda's so bad for you.
Oh, tell me about it. I'm over here drinking a Coca-Cola.
It's just like water, sugar, acid, flavoring, salt. I don't know what gamma arabic is. Caffeine, more salt, more sugar, calcium, more sugar. Yeah. It's like, oof.
Coke just says carbonated water, high fructose corn syrup, caramel color, phosphoric acid, natural flavors, and caffeine. What are natural flavors, though?
Of Coke?
You know,
flavors of natural.
They get the natural Coke that's in the wilds. They fill it from the spring of Coke.
This is the Coke spring.
It's like Fiji water, but Coke.